Alright guys, welcome to VALORANT news. Some major tournaments going down over the next couple of days, especially the Sentinels Invitational officially confirmed which teams are going to be playing in this over the next couple of days, and also what their rosters are going to be. Furia confirming their team last night, some big rumours about SRB as well, the Shopify Rebellion team, what that's going to look like, but also Bang returning to the Sentinels facility effectively. That will be a key talking point, SEN versus 100T. Very much enjoyed your thoughts and comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always. Plenty to get into today. We're going to start here. Masters at Santiago. Of course, we've known it will be a thing for some time. We didn't know until yesterday what precisely the dates were set to be. So the 28th of February to the 15th of March, Val Masters Santiago out in Chile. That is now official. The other thing that is official a couple of days ago now, as well, we mentioned it in the video, Liquid did get over the line and win the World Championship. In the Game Changers domain, it was a remarkable series, actually, a great way to end out the tournament after so much controversy during the tournament for multiple reasons. Banger Grand Finals, SRG, they were on the verge of the three-peat, but as always, when it comes to these, banger competitive series, 13-11, 13-11, 13-10, 13-6 in the end, SRG, we'll talk about SRB in the coming minutes. That was on the Sunset, and then the final map on the split was a 13-8. So usually all banger series, they end up on the split. Commiserations to SRG, but congrats to Team Liquid and the Brazilian region after lots of controversy for taking down the Game Changers World Championship. Another big result that happened around a similar time was this. So we saw this the other day. China Esports Festival Super Champions Cup, Leviathan and DRX, they played one another in the grand finals, and it was Lev who got the win here. So this was pretty impressive, really. That Lev team early days is looking really good. Now, DRX I also rate reasonably highly. Of course, it's very similar to what they're running with last year. But the new Lev team, yeah, they looked pretty good. DRX won the first map 13-7, but after that on the Haven, 13-5, 13-10 on the split, and then a 14-12 overtime banger on the bind. So, yeah, congrats to Leviathan. Okay, it's not the biggest tournament ever, but it's still pretty impressive, because after a difficult time last year, I like what they've done with their roster, and it's just exciting to see all these international games in the off-season. The other thing that's notable, because this China Radiant tournament is coming up soon, a couple of notable teams are going to that, including G2, but Gen.G are also going to be there. They've confirmed that Lakia is set to stay, so, Gen.G love doing this. They let a player go, and then they re-sign them or whatever, but it's not always the case. We know that Munchkin, for example, he's now ended up on T1. There's lots happening there. Speaking of T1, they're actually in action right about now. So, the Soup Valorant League is underway. There's no representatives here from the Americas, which is, it would be kind of cool if there was, but these are the representatives for the tournament. Fnatic have just played Full Sense. Now, Full Sense are, of course, the Thai team. They are still in some conversation to potentially get a spot in the VCT next year in the Pacific after the drama with Talon, as we know. Pina had a great series. We'll see what happens on that one, as I say, because it looks like they might be interested in some Thai organizations, right, to make this happen. But Fnatic get the victory, 13-11 on the bind. That was Full Sense's pick. And after that, they handled business on their map pick on the splits. Now, of course, very notably for this series, there's no Boaster, right? So Boaster's unwell, wasn't ending up traveling for the tournament, so they're playing with Severe instead. And yeah, I mean, again, it's just, they just pull these players out, don't they, Fnatic? And we'll see how they get on for the rest of the tournament. Playing with that Boaster, of course, is tough. It's difficult to really put a lot of this stuff into too much context with that Boaster at the tournament, but nonetheless, they've moved on in Group A regardless. DRX will play Songnam, the other team that made it through Ascension. Couple of, Korean teams there. And RRQ will play Gen.G as well tomorrow, with T1 currently playing Zeta Division. That's just got underway, and T1 so far are, winning the game one here on the Haven with their new roster, Itsu, Stacks, Meteor, Buzz and Munchkin, which, again, in a similar way that I was pretty high on the T1 roster at the start of last season, which did end up delivering a phenomenal victory in Bangkok before then falling off. I like what they've come up with this time around as well. The other drama of the last couple of days was on ULF Esports. So there's a couple of teams that qualified through. We know that Pacific qualified and ULF Esports qualified as well through Ascension to make it into the VCT for next year. Now, there was a report that came out that ULF Esports players are still owed months worth of salary, which again, raises serious questions, because if the organisation is in shambles, then Riot will not be especially willing to just allow them to walk straight into the VCT, even if they did win it and the players most certainly deserve it. Now, ULF Esports actually denies this. This is what they have to say. We have recently, this is of course translated, but I think it's done a reasonable job. We've been compelled to making a statement regarding unfounded allegations which have been spreading in an organised manner. So seems to imply that it's an attempted takedown campaign. First of all, we'd like to express our deep discomfort and sadness that our club's name has been associated with events that do not reflect the truth in any way. So this is a categorical denial. This isn't just a, oh, well, that's not true, we're working with Riot on this or something. Like, they are denying these allegations in full. So, and as they suggest, the posts in question have been completely disconnected from reality, distorted, exaggerated, and turned into an organised provocation campaign. The financial situation our club is experiencing is exceptional and temporary. Uh-oh. All players, employees, and business partners we have worked with in the past have been paid in full, and everyone involved has been secured through written commitments. We're always committed to transparency. Yeah, this strikes me as that there is quite a lot of truth maybe to what is being said, but we will see. We strongly urge you not to heed this manipulative agenda created based on these allegations. We are monitoring the process with due seriousness and professionalism, avoiding the dramatic rhetoric created on social media. Once we receive the information from the relevant authorities, we'll provide them with the documents, correspondence, contracts, bank statements. Following the completion of the process, we will initiate legal action against all individuals who engaged in organised attacks aimed at damaging our club's brand value. So anyway, that's what they have to say. They basically say none of it's true, but I mean, this middle paragraph is somewhat telling though. They say our club is experiencing exceptional and temporary financial situations, and all the players we've worked with in the past have been paid in full. But they don't necessarily deny entirely that maybe current players might be in a bit of a predicament. So anyway, we'll see how that one goes in the coming days. Now, of course, this drama is primarily related to the League of Legends side of the discussion, but it's still absolutely relevant when it comes to whether they will get admitted into the VCT. And Typhoon, a player for ULF Esports in League of Legends, says, "If you'll allow me, I can support the claims you call baseless with visual evidence. I have no personal grudge whatsoever. Like my other teammates, I don't want to usurp my rights. Do your job properly, and instead of lying, apologise and try to correct the situation." So there we go on that one for now. There's also a rumour that Pacific Esports, the other team from the Turkish region, right, that's getting into the league, although they got their entire team poached by BBL, they are supposedly trialling 7, but again, we'll see if this actually happens. It's a questionable source, let's just say, on this one. So there's also another confirmation. Desmo was signed to Fnatic as their assistant coach. This was made official, so their full team now: Kayak, Vikaj, Crashies boast to Alpha, that of course their main roster, with plenty of coaching and analyst support as well. Now, another big confirmation was from Furia. So they made official their roster yesterday. And this is a big deal, right? I like the way that Furia have gone. We'll find out in the coming days whether this is going to be any good or not. But Basic is their 6th man. They've got Alim as their duelist, Nerve as their IGL controller, Koala Noob on the flex, EU as the initiator, and Artson on the Sentinel. It's, yeah, it's certainly one of the teams of all time. It's a very interesting team. Certainly not what I've expected Furia to do, but given that their life is on the line, as it were, when it comes to potentially making serious changes for next season in the VCT, whether Riot keep them around or not is the key conversation there. This is a roster that must deliver, I think, for Furia after a couple of highly underwhelming years indeed. And they will be attending the Sentinels Invitational. So the SEN Invitational is running. Today is December the 2nd. This begins on the 4th of December. These will be the 4 teams in attendance. So we knew that 100 Thieves were going to be there. That was confirmed. We did not yet know the other 2 organisations. I think Sen said, or Rob Moore maybe said, that some of them couldn't make it for various reasons that they spoke to. So it's Furia and it's Shopify, Rebellion, Black. Those are the other teams. So I think still very excited to see how this one turns out. Ludwig says from the SRG side, or from the SRB side potentially, given that they're also going to play each other in the coming days. Sentinels have some thoughts on that one as well. 100T have some thoughts as well. Bang is going to be returning. He was on 100 Thieves. He played with Sentinels. Then they got rid of him. There weren't even any questions with Bang. I think that was what was interesting. we didn't really know what direction SEN were going to go with their roster this offseason, but it was very clear from day one that Bang was not still going to be there. So he's gone back to 100 Thieves. That will be exciting. These are the respective rosters. So it's Cryo, Bang, Asuna, with Timotino and Voro on 100 Thieves. The SEN roster, as we know, Narrate, Gen.G, Kai, Redux, and Cortesia. They looked pretty good at the SEN City Classic, as we know. So, but I'm really excited for that series. The Furia one, yeah, fascinated. Alim, Artsan, EU. Again, EU's interesting after the 100 Thieves thing as well. So there's a lot of key storylines here. Shopify Rebellion Black, they've still not confirmed their roster. The rumour was Exa, Kess, Ion, Xander, Kane. So bringing on effectively the Envy guys with Kess, who was also on 100 Thieves last year, right? So there's lots of interesting stories emerging for this tournament. The rumour out of Akamaru is that they're going to finalise their team with Xander, Satellite, Ion, and Nature. So this is very interesting. Apparently Nature changed his mind because there was a rumour that he was going to be joining Evil Genius's Academy, that they wanted to keep him around to in-game lead that team, but instead Nature felt like this was a superior offer and he's going to go there instead. So Xander back to tier 2. Again, there's 100 Thieves history going on there as well. He will be down on this roster, presumably not in-game leading, with Satellite, Ion, of course, from the Envy team. So that's how it looks like from their perspective. Definitely intrigued to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Speaking of Envy and SEN, we did have a scrim set was going down between them, still featuring Infiltrator. Seems to be a character that Envy are definitely looking to sign as Sentinels get ready for this big tournament over the next couple of days. So very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.